Lesson 2.4 is multiplying integers, and we are going to combine that with 2.5, dividing integers, because these beginning rules for both lessons are exactly the same. It's similar to what we talked about yesterday when I made you rewrite the problems that had double signs. So here's the rule. If you take a positive times a positive or a negative times a negative, the answer is always positive. You can determine the sign before you ever even actually multiply the numbers together. And the result, same signs, equal positive. Alright, the opposite of that is if you have a negative times a positive or a positive times a negative. In other words, the signs are different, then the answer is a negative. I recommend that you determine the sign first and then you go ahead and carry out the answer. Okay, so let's look at our first examples here. I've got 7 times negative 9. So our times here, it looks like we're using parentheses, so that's good. Anybody want to help me with that one? Haley, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a negative.
It is going to be a negative because the signs are different. And then what's 7 times 9?
Hold on, I know this.
So 7 times 9 is?
63.
63. Negative 63. All right, next one. Negative 6 times negative 5. Sienna, what kind of sign is it going to be if the signs are the same here? Positive. And 6 times 5 is 30. So positive 30. All right, I didn't have too many of those examples on there because those are kind of cut and dry. Let's talk about the simplify here that are a little different. Simplify means do the parts you can do, but we don't know what the variables are worth, so we cannot evaluate these. We don't come up with just one number answer. Here's what I'll do the first one. First of all, I'm looking at the signs. A positive times a negative, so the signs are different. I know it's going to be a negative. I can multiply 7 times 3. I know that that is 21. I can't do much with the A and B because I don't know what they're worth. So it's a long multiplication, it's a product, so you just bring those along. Negative 21 AB would be the simplified answer. Questions about that? All right, somebody help me with negative 4x times negative y. All right, Stephen, negative times negative, what's the product going to be?
It would be positive.
It would be positive. Now, this one has a 4. This one doesn't have a number, so what is it automatically understood to have there? What number's really there if you don't see it?
Variable.
If you don't have a number written there, it's automatically the number 1. Yes, the number 1. So 4 times 1 is
4.
4. And then what do you do with the rest of it?
You put x and y beside 4.
Yes. So that would be positive 4xy. Positive 4xy. Finally, I've got more than 2 being multiplied. So you just go with the first 2. A positive times a negative. Haley is a?
Negative.
And then 7 times 11?
77.
Okay, so then I have to take negative 77 times 4. So a negative times a positive is going to be?
Negative.
A negative. And then I just have to do 77 times 4. We might need to write that over here on the side to check that out. So what is 4 times 7? 28, and then 4 times 7 again, 28, but this time we have to add in the 2.
308.
So negative 308. That would be my final answer. Just do those 2 at a time and continue on and follow the sign rules throughout the problem. Questions on that? All right, let's move on then to 2.5. So adding in lesson 2.5, dividing integers, same exact sign rules as we've had. Okay, the same exact sign rules. If the signs are the same, it's positive. If the signs are different, it's negative. So what we're going to do is we're going to start over here with these division problems. So does somebody want to help me out with that? 28 divided by -4. Dakota,
7.
what sign is it going to have? Negative, and then 28 divided by 4 is 7. All right, -45 divided by 5. Braxton, what sign is it going to have?
Negative.
Negative, and what's 45 divided by 5?
9.
9. -100 divided by -10. Layla, what sign is it going to have?
10.
It's a negative divided by a negative. Sign's going to be positive, and then 100 divided by 10. Yes. So you were right the very first time until you said negative. But yes, it's a positive 10. All right, a couple other things that we're going to get with this. Evaluate means what? When it's to solve. That means we want a value, a number. Solve it. This one, the way that it's written this way, 6x divided by y, I'm going to change it to make it look the way that we want to start writing problems, 6x over y. And then I'm going to plug in the values that were assigned for x and y. It says x is -3 and y is -2. So 6 times -3 over -2. So who wants to help me with this? Okay, Tori, we've got to find one value for the top and one value for the bottom and then divide. So what are we going to do? Positive, yes, +6 times -3 would be what? -18. And then -18 divided by -2 would be just +9. Good job. When you have a problem like that, make sure, again, one value for the top and one value for the bottom before you divide. Okay, here's something a little different. We are going to find the mean of a set of numbers, which really means find its average. Look at those numbers. Some are positive, some are negative. How do you find the mean of a set of numbers? Tori?
Take all of the numbers and add them together and divide by how many numbers you have.
You add them all up and then divide by how many there are. So this means we've got to add 12 plus -18 plus 3 plus -7 plus 1 plus -3. Trayton, I want you to help me with this. Do you have any suggestions on how the easiest way maybe to add those all up?
Add the positive numbers and add the negative.
Good. That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. He says add the positive numbers. So that means we're going to add 12, 3, and 1. That does equal 16. And then we're going to add the negative. So there's -18, -7, -3. So that would be negative what?
28.
-28. Okay, so now we need to combine. I have 16 and I'm losing 28. I'm going back 28. So what would that be, Trayton? Nope, if I have 16, I'm in the positives. I have 16, and then I lose 28. So I am going to go into the negatives, but not that far back. If I'm over here at 16 and then I just go back 28. So when you do 16 and then you're losing 28, it is -12. So that is the sum of all of our numbers. And how many are we going to divide by, Trayton? How many? 6. So negative 12 divided by 6, and what would that be? Negative 2. So our mean, our average is negative 2. You're going to be asked to do some of those. So that's the first time that we've had an average or a mean maybe that would be a negative, but that is a possibility when you've got positives and negative numbers.